All right, guys, I want to welcome you to the Do Work podcast. We're continuing with our series, 31 Days of Mindfulness and Motivation. And today is no different. Today is day 7. And, I got something really special for you. And yeah, you're really going to love today. So I got something really special for you. And today we are going to talk about the art of saying no. Now, you're probably like, Diva, I thought you said this was motivation and mindfulness. Well, this is the thing. When it comes to being mindful of your time, other people's time, you have to learn to say no. When it comes to protecting your peace, you have to learn to say no. So it's really challenging for a lot of people for a lot of reasons. So let's dive into one, why a lot of people find it difficult to say no. And then two, we'll get into how we overcome that. All right. So saying no comes off sometimes as a form of rejection. A lot of people take no's personally, whereas really a no is saying no to an idea, a concept, a situation. And unfortunately, the person on the receiving end of that no thinks it's more a no to them and not whatever was suggested. So, for example, I always say this is a great example. Your friends ask you to go out, you're tired, you don't feel like it, you have work to do. You should say no, but you don't because you're concerned, you're worried, you think they're going to be mad and they're not going to be your friends anymore. So you say yes. You wake up the next day, hangover, tired, no work done, completely unproductive. So who lost? You or your friends? You did. So when you say no to things, you are saying yes to something else. So saying no to that interaction, hanging out with your friends late because you knew you had work to do and you had to get up early, was saying yes to whatever you wanted to work on. So always remember, your no is saying yes to something else. Now, when it comes to being on the receiving end of a no, it's super personal. Hey, you want to go with me? No, I'm good. Well, why? Especially if it's something you want somebody to do with you, because it's about you now. Well, why don't you want to go with me? No, I'm not really interested. No, rejected by somebody you want to date. No, all these things like really mess people up. People do not know how to process the word no and not take it personally. So this is the thing. Why are people afraid to say no? I'll tell you why. They're afraid of what people will think. They think people are going to hate them, be angry, never speak to them again. And they don't want to lose those friendships. They don't want to lose those connections. But no is a very powerful thing because no is where you establish your boundaries. If you're not using the word no, if you're not exercising that right, you probably don't have a ton of boundaries. People pleasers have a really hard time saying no. They do. They do. No is a word that needs to be in your vocabulary. No is a word you need to embrace. When it comes to the mindfulness portion of this 31 days, you saying no may be you protecting your peace. You may have family members that every time you get around them, they irritate you. It's too much. It's okay to say no. I have no problem saying no if it's going to keep me happy. Now, some may say that's selfish, but I always say you have to deal with you and yourself first before you deal with others. If going to a family dinner is going to leave you irritated for 3 weeks, just say no. For whatever reason, you and your family are not there yet. Now, if you are the person receiving the no, like I said, no's come off very personal. If you're receiving that no, you have to learn in that moment, it's not about you. regardless of what the other person's wants or needs are. In that moment, they're saying no to you. And you have to accept it. You have to be okay with it. You have to own it. You have to say, okay, no problem, and move on. Even if you are slightly disappointed or your feelings are a little hurt because you really wanted to spend time, or you really wanted somebody to work on a project with you, or you really wanted somebody to go into business with you. Rejection, no, is not the end of the world. Because remember, every no, no matter what end you're on of it, is a yes to something else. It's a yes to something else. I cannot even begin to tell you the amount of no's I've gotten in my lifetime that I still get. Yes, do my feelings get hurt sometimes? Yes, but it ain't about me. I may not be right for a project. I may not be the person they want to hear or see. That no, baby, putting me in position to do the next thing. There's nothing wrong. There is nothing wrong with saying no. There's nothing wrong with hearing no. And this is the last part of this that is super crucial. Remember, we're doing 31 days of motivation and mindfulness. This is day 7. We're talking about the art of saying no. Here's something that's super crucial. You have to learn to say no and not explain yourself. I used to have trouble with that. It was no, because I have to do X, Y, and Z. Or no, because I really want. No is no. And I still catch myself sometimes trying to explain why I'm not interested, or why I don't want to do a project, or why I don't want to go. No is no. It doesn't matter. No, I can't is enough. No, I won't is enough. No, I'm not interested is enough. We'll pass at this time. That's it. And you may get the well, why? I'm not interested. You don't have to explain yourself. Your no is enough. Now, as a courtesy, if you would like to explain yourself because you feel the feedback in that situation could be beneficial, then hey, give it. But no means no. That's it. No explanation needed. No explanation needed. So when it comes to being mindful of your time, of your peace, of your energy, saying no is important. There are certain people I refuse to hang around because their energy does not match with my energy, so I say no. Diva, you never come with us. Nope. There are certain business ventures I just won't get involved in, no matter how many times I'm asked. The answer is no. It's not for me, but thank you for thinking of me. This is day 7. I want you to learn to utilize and get comfortable saying the word no without explanation. And I also want you to get used to hearing the word no and knowing that that no for you is a yes to something else and something greater. That is crucial. That is key. And I'm just going to leave it right there. All right, guys, I want to welcome you to the Do Work Podcast. Again, Do Work Podcast is a weekly podcast where we discuss all things mindset, entrepreneurship, motivation, and just free thinking. I like for you guys to think for yourselves and ask questions. Please subscribe to the newsletter. If you could, go over to divarichards.com, subscribe to the newsletter. We send out newsletters bi-monthly. I would love for you to read them, absorb them, give your feedback. I'm here for it. I'm your coach. And also, don't be afraid to send in questions or comments or things you want me to address on the podcast. I love that as well. So again, guys, I want to thank you for tuning in. This is 31 days of motivation and mindfulness, the Do Work Podcast. Remember, and you know what I'm going to say, nothing changes unless you do. Nothing changes unless you do the work. Come on, family.